Hey everyone, it's me, Jason Gilbert, and I'm about to stop you from making the biggest mistake, probably the biggest mistake of your life, and that is trying to demo ChatGPT at Christmas dinner, okay? Don't do it. First of all, the word demo itself, right? Tech demo, it's like saying Macbeth in the theater. You just don't do it, because the minute you say the word demo, everything goes catastrophically wrong, okay? And that's a proven fact. It's scientific, okay? So I want to show you real quick the reason I'm telling you not to do a tech demo of ChatGPT at Christmas, or maybe be careful before you do it, is because of this article that I found on Reddit, and it is absolutely hilarious. And to me, it encapsulates what it means to do a demo, a tech demo, and we've all been through this. So let's take a look. This guy, he goes to his in-laws, and he tries to impress them by showing off GPT voice to his family during Thanksgiving, and they were thoroughly unimpressed. So he tried to show off this awesome tech, and he starts off by showing it to his brother-in-law. And from experience, brothers-in-law are very hard to please, and they're generally just not very pleasant people, except for my brother-in-law, of course. And the brother-in-law is a Phillies fan, which is another strike against him, and I know this because I am also from Philadelphia, so I can relate. It's masochistic to be a Phillies fan. And the brother-in-law is like, well, just impress me with your tech by telling me how the Phillies are going into next season. And obviously ChatGPT isn't connected to the web, so the results were like, well, I can't. You can look up stats online, which was a total failure in the demo. And well, but that's to be expected, right? But at that point, this is what makes or breaks a tech demo. At that point, when it starts to fail, that's when you have to think on your feet. And so what I would have done, I would have stopped there, and I would have gone to ChatGPT, and I would have said, okay, you know what? You're a Phillies fan, okay? So act as though you are a Renaissance poet and compose a classic limerick about how bad the Philadelphia Phillies have been historically, and how sad it must be for their few fans. Once you compose a limerick, compose the exact same limerick, like verbatim, but in really simple terms that are geared for a 4-year-old so that they'll understand, okay? And this is the result that I got. Okay, you have to know your audience. Okay, so the next up obviously was I guess, he told everyone not to ask about recent events. Okay, so if you're doing a tech demo, don't start with the caveats. If they want to ask about recent events, you can try and figure out a way around it. But whatever you do, don't say, hey, don't ask about this, because it already kind of puts you in a bad light. And then what they did was they asked a question about eye care. And so they got a network error, and it happens. You're in the tech, and I've seen this so many times. I've been there, where all of a sudden you lose Wi-Fi, you don't have connectivity. There's a network error. It happens. So what you do in this situation, this is an unethical life pro tip, and you should never use this unless it's your father-in-law or an other in-law, is you say, oh, when this happens to ChatGPT, it automatically goes through your search history on your Chrome and starts flagging things that are inappropriate. Should I stop it, or do you want to keep it going and then have it print out the results? And then you can just take a look at your father-in-law's face, whose browsing history I'm sure is primarily Etsy and ESPN.com. Okay, so finally, we get to the Holy Grail, the mother-in-law, and for the third, and this was the Holy Grail, the mother-in-law. She is a vet, which I'm assuming, although mine is very combatant also, that she's a veterinarian and not a military vet. But she could have been a vet in the military. It's not clear from the post. Tell me about the recent respiratory illness in dogs. And ChatGPT got it wrong and talked about kennel cough. I mean, it's close, but it's not the same thing. And my mother-in-law says, oh, that's not it. And I think we can all hear the tone in the mother-in-law's voice as she's saying, oh, that's not it. So in all fairness to this person, this is a very tough environment. When you're doing a tech demo, I remember I did a tech demo once in 2019 in Berlin, and you can imagine how much the Germans appreciated my humor. Yeah. So it's really understanding your audience and knowing who you're pitching to, and then being able to adjust your demo based on the people you're in the room with. And if everything is going wrong as it appears to be going wrong, and you're already at your in-laws and they already think you're kind of a failure, you just gotta have fun. So what I would do for the mother-in-law is use GPT-4. I would actually take advantage of the and I would upload a picture of my mother-in-law, and I would say, hey, make my mother-in-law progressively more mother-in-law-y until she's the most mother-in-law in the whole universe. And then it would generate a series of pictures of her. Or alternately, if you don't want to go down that route and you want to be invited to next year's Christmas, just do just show one of the progressively cute dog images that Dolly's generating, or like that homeless dog that goes from being homeless to being like a well-fed and just loved dog. Remember, this is a suicide mission. When you're doing a tech demo, you can just assume that it's going to fail. It always does. So number one, don't call it a demo, call it anything else. Call it a fun chat with a robot. Call it just like this cool thing that I'm going to do with, or just call it whatever you want. Call it just anything but the D word, okay? Number two, it's going to fail. There's going to be issues. Have a backup plan. Have a bunch of backup plans. 3, know your audience. And 4 is the hardest one, okay? 4 is have fun. I wish you all a very, very, very Merry Christmas. Enjoy the in-laws. Merry Christmas.